Good evening and thank you for joining us. Federal funds are riding on it. How well can local agencies count the number of homeless people?
It's called the point-in-time count. And tomorrow night, those who help our community's most vulnerable will be doing their very best to try to find out just how many there are in our community. 9 on Your Side reporter Jay Warren walks us through the process and its importance.
Every year, the Department of Housing and Urban Development asks organizations like the Greater Cincinnati Homeless Coalition to help conduct a point-in-time count. The numbers they generate help dictate what kind of funds a community gets. As one can imagine, counting those who don't have a permanent place to live is not an exact science. You get a good count from the shelters, but counting who's out on the streets is a different matter.
The Department of Housing and Urban Development wishes to use these numbers to track worsening or improvement.
Josh Spring is executive director for the Greater Cincinnati Homeless Coalition and outlines a major difficulty in tomorrow's point-in-time count.
HUD does not include people who are bouncing from place to place to place, couch to couch, couch to bridge to car. Those folks don't necessarily get counted.
But he says what is known and what this brings to light is a lack of affordable housing. He says Hamilton County needs 40,000 more units of affordable housing.
There are about 55,000 households trying to fit into 16,000 affordable homes.
And while he says HUD will use the count to determine funding priorities, he says the answer needs to be housing.
The truth is that when we are so short on affordable housing as we are now, unless we change that, the problem just doesn't change.
At a minimum, Josh Springs says that the count tomorrow night will give sort of a snapshot across the country as to how many homeless there are. He says he also hopes this brings attention to the problem. Jay Warren, 9 on Your Side, over the Rhine.
New at 5:30, possibly the youngest and most recent victim of sexual assault by a USA gymnastics doctor tore into him today in court. Dozens of victims have told their own stories about being assaulted by Larry Nassar under the guise of getting medical treatments. Some of those victims' parents are also still being billed for the so-called doctor visits. Emma Ann Miller, now 15, said Nassar started abusing her at age 10.
I have never wanted to hate someone in my life, but my hate towards you was uncontrollable. Larry Nassar, I hate you.
Nassar has pleaded guilty to 10 counts of criminal sexual conduct in 2 Michigan counties. He's already been sentenced to 60 years for federal child pornography charges. Now, as part of Nassar's plea deal, all of the victims who reported assaults are allowed to read their statements in court. Prosecutors say there's nearly 150 victim statements that will be read by the end of this trial.
Developing now, new court documents allege that an assistant police chief in Kentucky made racist statements to a recruit. Todd Shaw was filling in as acting chief of Prospect, Kentucky, near Louisville at the time of these allegations. Records show Todd allegedly told a recruit to shoot black kids smoking marijuana and then sexually assault their parents. These messages were made public through an open records request by area media. The county attorney calls the messages disgusting.
Anyone who shares such blatant racist views should not be given a badge or a gun. The effect it has on the criminal justice system, if this goes unnoticed and unchecked, is extraordinarily serious and could affect rights of a lot of people.
The assistant chief resigned in November of 2017 after his boss confronted him about those messages. Right now, there are no charges against him.
Well, it's making a comeback. Pyramid schemes are now making the rounds on social media and targeting teenagers this time around. All across Snapchat, Facebook, and Instagram are ads that promise fast cash and huge returns. Financial advisors say it might sound easy, but once you buy into it, it's almost impossible to make your money back. And the scariest part is this scam is spreading like wildfire.
You could quickly, within hours even, create a Ponzi scheme that might have taken weeks years ago. The fact is that most people end up losing money in a Ponzi scheme.
Now, not only is this a scam, financial advisors also say the pyramid schemes like this are also illegal. So if you come across this and it seems just too good to be true, it most likely is.
A man is still in serious condition right now after police say he lost control of his car. Cincinnati police say Robert Banks was speeding on Queen City Avenue around 10:30 last night. They say he lost control and hit a pole. His car continued into the parking lot of Queen City Pizza, hitting several parked cars and the building. Nobody else was injured. The traffic unit says it is still investigating that crash.
A new 5-year, $6 million levy renewal may be approved by the Carlisle Board of Education in less than an hour. If approved, the levy will appear on the May primary ballot. The levy generates nearly $1 million a year for district operating expenses. That breaks down to about $185 a year for homeowners with houses valued at $100,000. The board meets at 6 tonight at Carlisle High School. Hundreds of dollars worth of prizes were given away to lucky travelers at CVG today. The airport celebrated its 70th anniversary last year, and it commemorated the event with 70 acts of gratitude. Today was the final act. Travelers got mystery envelopes with gift cards inside. One lucky person received $500 in airfare. CVG says Project Gratitude is all about celebrating its passengers.
We've seen tremendous growth over the past year, and it really is because of the community. It's from people embracing the low-cost flights that we have and the lower airfares and coming out and choosing CVG as their travel airport.
Many of the gift cards that were given away today were for places like Subway and Outback Steakhouse, which are inside the terminals there.
Nice and convenient there.
Yeah.
Challenges in the tri-state.
Straight ahead, new at 5:30, new numbers from the health department on some of the top issues and one way that health workers are trying to slow the opioid epidemic.
And welcoming a new officer, we are live as Green Township gets a new member to that force who won't roll over on crime.
I'm John Matteries. Now that the holidays are over, it's time for those holiday season returns. But one tri-state woman finds some stores may not want them back. I'll explain why coming up on 9 on Your Side.
You're watching 9 on Your Side at 5:30.
You're watching 9 on Your Side at 5:30.
Did you know there's a new top dog joining a local police force? Green Township is getting a new canine officer after the loss of their previous one while on duty. We have a live look for you at the ceremony going on right now. Canine Raider just finished training and is now about to be introduced to the community. The new canine officer is named after Major Tom Griffin, a Doolittle Raider from World War II and Green Township resident until his death in 2013. You may remember Canine Dino collapsed and died last September while searching for kidnapping suspects. The two groups that sponsored the purchase of Canine Raider will also be honored today.
We are getting a look at some of the greatest health problems that face the city of Cincinnati right now. Today, the health commissioner presented some new data to the city council. You can see the video here. Among the top issues that were discussed, the opioid epidemic. One way the health department is making a dent in the fight against heroin is through its needle exchange program. And health workers also say the program is a good opportunity to offer up other health services.
You have someone there they're using, because they're exchanging their needles. So it's a great opportunity to say, let's test you and see if there are any infections we need to be concerned about. Do you need a pregnancy test? Can we get you into treatment? Because that's where the problem really begins to be solved.
Some other major health issues that face the city right now include infant mortality rates and the health of people living in poverty.
Butler County is already putting out the call for poll workers. This will be for the May primary election. The Board of Elections is looking to hire 1,300 people to help voters as they perform their civic duty. Poll workers earn a minimum of $174. Workers must go to training and a 1-hour meeting the day before the election. If you're interested, you can sign up at butlercountyelections.org.
As Amazon moves more into groceries with every passing month, Kroger tonight is fighting back. Consumer reporter John Matteries tells us about a big purchase that Kroger might be about to make to take on Amazon on its own turf. Online groceries. Steve.
Craig, well, temperatures are going to dip a little bit. I'll show you how much in the next couple of days, but we've got another warming trend heading in the 7-day along with more rain too. I'll show you the timeline coming up next.
Well, with the holidays now over, it's time for holiday returns, right? Maybe not. One tri-state woman just learned why some stores may not want them back. Consumer reporter John Matteries shows why you may be denied. But first, a possible big purchase for Kroger, John.
Well, Kristen, every few weeks it seems Amazon makes more and more inroads into Kroger's grocery business. Tonight, though, Kroger is fighting back. The New York Post reports Kroger may buy Overstock.com. That's the web retailer that sells discounted clothing, home decor, kitchen supplies, toys. Overstock has the online presence that could be a big help to Kroger. I called Kroger, but they tell me they're not commenting at this time on a possible purchase. Cincinnati area travelers have been complaining about Delta Airlines for what, 20, 25 years? Mostly because of their high fares out of Cincinnati. But you may want to cut Delta a little break tonight. That's because a brand new Wallet Hub survey just named Delta best when it comes to frequent flyer programs. Its Sky Miles program was ranked #1, followed by Alaska, Hawaiian, American, and United.